see your face. For he that great I praise. I know the Lord. Any better do the God. He will roll the sea away. And forward still this Jehovah will roll the billows dash and spread. With a concrete thread we will push ahead and roll the sea away. Look here now, man, sickness come, he will roll away. He come, sickness away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sickness roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll all the sickness away. He roll all of the bill they repair. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the then forward still this Jehovah will blow the billows dash and spread. With a concrete track we will push ahead and we roll the sea one more time away. Then forward still this Jehovah will blow the billows dash and spread. With a concrete track we will push ahead and roll one more time away. Lord, he roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll problem come, he roll it out. Sickness come, he roll it out. All the come, he roll it out. All the problem come, he roll. Lord Jesus, he roll. He roll. Lord Jesus, he roll. Somebody else say, he roll. Jordan roll. Roll. Jordan roll. Oh yeah. Jordan roll. And do thy work thyself. He say roll. Jordan roll. Roll. Jordan roll. To heaven when he go hear Lord Jordan roll. Take it up. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. He roll the sea away. All of the problem roll up. All of the sickness roll up. All of the bill them roll up. Everything problem. Yeah. He rolled. Hallelujah. Glory. Thank you, Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, even if you buck out to war, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. Woo. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we have follow. We obey with pastor, but we have followed Jesus. Forward still. Woo. Young people, walk holy. Walk holy. Make the right decisions. Walk right. Walk holy. Ramandosia. Rakandarabasiandarabosha. Walk holy. Forward still. It's Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and sway with a concrete
Dr. Brown's Arthritis Remedy and Joint Oil Pain relieves muscular and joint aches, arthritis, sciatica, headaches, menstrual cramps, foot pain, and is also a great sleep aid. Manufactured by Jamaican scientist Everton Brown, PhD, from a blend of Jamaican herbs. Shop www.jamsweet.com or call us at 813-679-0106.
Tony Ann Organics gives you back your smile. Are you frustrated with your skincare? Are you tired of acne, blemishes, scars, sagging skin, wrinkles, discoloration? Why not enjoy our wide array of products from skin, hair, and personal care? Place your frustration on our shoulders, and we will get you smiling again. The power of our products are in our formulation and ingredients. Listen to our customer testimonial. This is what she has to say.
Oh my gosh, look at my face. I've been using these products for a year, exactly 1 year. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. They really work. Look at my skin.
Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204 and order yours today.
Having sleepless nights worrying about identity theft? Then you need Legal Shield. We're here to protect you and your family, your business, and your personal identity with 24/7 identity theft protection. We safeguard your security with identity and credit monitoring. Not only will we alert you about threats, but we'll also provide tools to monitor your online presence and notify you of any unusual activity. We'll work tirelessly to restore your identity to its pre-theft status. Legal Shield goes beyond credit reports. We offer full credit monitoring and identity theft protection. Need to sign contracts or documents? Landlord or tenant issues? Received a traffic ticket? Worried about child safety? Or maybe a real estate transaction? Legal Shield has got you covered. Visit our website or contact us at 703-678-6265. Legal Shield, your shield of protection.
KG Shipping and LPK Shipping from USA to the Caribbean. The most reliable to the Caribbean. We specialize in shipping and freight services from door to door, serving West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, and Delaware. KG Shipping and LPK Shipping is your gateway to the Caribbean. We offer our service locally and intrastate. Relax in comfort as we take your shipment from the port to your door. Visit our website or contact us at 301-773-5402 or 1876-221-6765. Leave the hassle to us. We ship from a pin to and anchor. We are safe, reliable, we deliver. Call us now and ship with us today.
Our appetite for fun never ends at Andre's Food Fiesta on September 27th, 2024. This amazing food will tantalize your taste and feed your appetite for adventure with our wild flavors. Your pulse-pounding appetite will be satisfied in concerts for every taste. It all pairs well with a complimentary natural juice. The best way to come back for more, the taste, the flavor, the mouth-watering dishes. Pre-order only. Andre's Food Fiesta. Whet your appetite and let you keep running back for more. To order, WhatsApp or call us at 876-865-4587 or 876-995-5301 or 8764-262-281. Thank you for your support.
If you love the Lord, and me say roll, Jordan roll, roll, Jordan roll. for you. Just give him praise. Rock and praise him. Dance and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. My God, David was one of the greatest musicians. And I hear this musician playing. Give God glory, musician. Tell him, play a little David. Play a little David. Play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Me say roll, Jordan. Me say roll, Jordan. My God, Church of God this evening. God is good. Yes, God is good. God, for I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. Oh no, me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to walk right in there. 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 River Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. Roll River Jordan. Roll River Jordan. Roll River Jordan. Roll River Jordan. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Let the deaf man hear. And the dumb man talk. And the blind eye see. And the crippled man walk. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan. I feel like praising. I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a fit it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a fit it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a fit it when you roll. Me want rock and praise it, boy. Me a fit it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Boy, River Jordan a roll. People make you roll, make you roll. Boy, a blessing make you roll. Yes, a blessing make you roll. Boy, are your blessing make you roll. Yes, are your blessing make you roll. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan rolls. Somebody shout and praise to God.
Good night, good night, good night, everyone. Good night, Jamaica. Good night, members of the diaspora. Good night, TikTok. Good night, YouTube. Blessings. And I know a lot of people last night were, how would I put it? A lot of people last night mouth open, wide, yay open, wide to say, is this really what is happening in Jamaica? Last night, let me see a show of hand. How many people were appalled by the revelations made? How many of you, show me on a hand, how many of you last night jaw drop and couldn't say backside of them something you really are going? If you know last night, you're speechless. Who was left speechless last night? Come on and tell me if you were left speechless. Ah, yeah, Jamaica. So we're going to start part 2 about 9 o'clock. Miss Burton said she just needs some time, but she'll be here by 9 o'clock tonight. But I see the PSOJ. Who see the PSOJ finally? The PSOJ. I wouldn't say the PSOJ, but a group of business syndicates have come out. You heard about it, Jamaica? The group of business syndicates, they have come out and say, let me read it because I don't want to be wrong. The PSOJ, I want to tell you all of them who come out. And them come out partially, you know, them not come out fully. Them said the business community calls for Holness probe to be completed without undue influence. In a joint statement this afternoon, the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Export Organization said they acknowledge the Integrity's report regarding the affairs of the Prime Minister. Hey! PSOJ come out, but them not come out to say they need answers, you know. Them come out and say they need the report to be complete. So what are we to deduce from that, Jamaica? What are we to deduce from that? But we'll wait until Miss Burton come, we deal with that part, right? I see them say poll come out. I see them say poll come out over the Green Lantern them. The Green Lantern radio station put out poll this morning. And they said, Jamaica, that 44% of Jamaica, the so-called Blue Dot poll. But many of you don't know that the Blue Dot owner, many of you do not know that the Blue Dot owner, yes, man, you must check out the Blue Dot owner and find out who is my friend. Hey. So, tonight, me just going to ask you, Jamaica, answer with me. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, Jamaica. They said they polled 1,200 and plus, almost 1,300 people across Jamaica. And when they polled the 1,300 plus people, they said 44% of those polled say the country is going in the wrong direction. Make it make sense, Jamaica. Make it make sense, Pupa morality. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, Pupa morality. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You are saying that 44% of those polled said the country is going in a wrong direction. So if the country is going in a wrong direction, how comes Jamaica, if the people who are polled say that the country is going in the wrong direction, how the said people are going to say 52% of them say the JLP deserve a third term? Anything can go so. No. Me not think couldn't hear me now. Them say the country are go in the wrong direction according to Fidem poll. But the said people who polled said that 52% of them believe that Holness should get a third term. And all I can say, what can go so? Already the poll look bogus to me. Already Jamaica, Lauren and Cliff Hughes know why them are fake. You know? I wonder if that is the same poll that Lauren give Cliff Hughes him get the labor right there. I'm going to say it again, you know. Lauren, the poll where you get to Andrew and Horace Chang, was that the poll you gave to Cliff Hughes? Because what I hear going in at the meeting a totally different thing compared to where you are report. People, I think couldn't get what I'm saying. You know? I'm going to say it again for the ordinary Jamaican to understand, because I am saying to you that my country is going in the wrong direction. And the said respondent look at you to say, the country going in the wrong direction, but we will give Andrew Holness a third term. That don't sound right. People. It don't sound right. You just look at me and tell me say the country going in the wrong direction. And I look at you and tell you thereafter say, I will give this man a third term. So how is it that the people who say them are suffer, all the people that who is hungry, all the people them when have access to bed and medication, all the people them when I get good food pan part program, I said to you, so them want to give this man a third term. In now adopt Jamaica. The poll, you know, like the poll they pan a feast, a wet name. See, appel on you. It'll go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Something wrong. The poll are going to one pendulum swing. The poll giving Jamaica a pendulum swing. See the pendulum, yeah? It take here, so. It take this, so. It take here, so. It take this, so. Or unless it's a go upon the poll. It's a go upon the poll. Because the go says she suffer, but the same time the go says she want him. This remind me of somehow no woman where I get battering, but you still love the man. And that the poll start saying, you know. The poll start say, I get the battering. But the pollster equally has say, uno still love the man from Galilee. So I don't understand this, Jamaica. Something not right. Something definitely is not right. But Lauren and Blue Dot, I will wait to see what the Don Anderson poll is saying. I will wait to hear what the Don Anderson poll is saying, Jamaica. You hear what I said? I have never really trusted the Blue Dot poll, but a poll is always said to be a snapshot in the moment, you know. And I gather that this poll was taken the same time the Prime Minister's statutories were being revealed. But listen to what this reporter is saying. Listen to this reporter. Somebody said the poll a Willy Bongs. Hey, the poll look like it a Willy Bongs. Listen to.
Much has been said since the tabling of the Integrity Commission report last week. Pollster Don Anderson notes that the details may not change the minds of Jamaica Labour Party supporters, but more People's National Party supporters may be driven to vote in the next election.
You may find that die-hard supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party, it might mean much to them in terms of a shift, okay? What might very well happen though, because the optics are very important, is that you may very well find supporters of the People's National Party who were undecided about what they were doing and who were sitting on the fence or kind of apathetic. They may very well come out in greater numbers.
He's of the view that the outcome of the IC report will have an impact on the Prime Minister's future.
Because so far all that has been said are largely allegations and claims about what has taken place. If it gets to the next step and clearly, you know, the Prime Minister's name is cleared without a shadow of a doubt, then again it might, you know, have another effect of pulling back. But a lot depends, therefore, on, I think, the next steps and how far the next steps are allowed to go, because we know that there are attempts to not have it aired much more, you know, as you mentioned, the legal challenges which are being presented right now.
Mr. Anderson further notes that the controversy surrounding the report, among other issues being played out in the public domain in recent weeks, are already showing that Jamaicans are election ready. He says these could lead to a higher voter turnout in the next general election.
More and more people are now accepting that elections are likely to take place before September next year. Of course, it doesn't have to, but they are kind of in a state of readiness. And I think right now what is taking place is not going to depress, but actually increase the degree of interest that there is in voting next time. And we hope we're actually in the field this week. And one of the things that we will be looking at is the likely voter turnout. I anticipate that there will be a higher intention. Whether this pans out in the reality is another thing, but that there is a greater interest now in voting than there was in the February election and in the last general election.
Nakinski Robinson, TVJ News.
You heard what Don Anderson said? There is deliberate attempts by the government to try to silence this thing, you know. But I hear Mark Golding say, meet him in court. Hey! Say what? I hear Mark Golding say, meet him in court. And I don't know who is advising the Prime Minister, you know, because if you take on this with a defamation lawsuit, you're going wake up more orange people than you never needed to, you know. I'm not thinking about that, you know. I'm going to say it again, you know. Andrew Holness, you make Abka, Dana, Marlon, Morgan, all of them Round you are fully up with fool advice. But Andrew, if the common man is thinking like me, and I think like the common man, I talk for the common man, I represent the common man. If you are taking out a defamation lawsuit, it simply means politically you're wounded, you know. It simply means you're drawing for straws, you know. You're gaping. Politically, you're on the edge of a political death. So for you to now be saying you're going with defamation lawsuit, do you know that politically that strengthens the opposition island-wide? I don't think him understand, you know. People. If you are going to take the route to say meet you in court, what you're doing, Andrew, you're trying to use one-upmanship. You're trying to use intimidatory tactics. You're trying to muzzle people. But Andrew, if the lawsuit is carried in court, expect at least 2 million Jamaicans to join Mark Golding in the lawsuit again, where you're going to carry against him. I'm going to say it again. If you proceed with that lawsuit, Andrew Holness, take my political advice. You're going to wake up. You're going to stir up. You're going to spruce up. Hey. Hey, Andrew. You ever hear granny say make sleeping dogs lie? You ever hear your granny look by you and tell you make sleeping dogs lie? I'm going to say it again. I just want you to carry the lawsuit, you know. I want you just to carry the lawsuit. When the lawsuit drop, count your days out of Jamaica house.
All right. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. In the two for the rat them. Set a rat trap.
I'm going to say it again. The moment handling or whatsoever lodge the number upon the case file, just know, stamp your way out of Jamaica house, you know. And KD Knight said something at that conference. Producer, do you have the KD Knight alone video can play? Listen to what KD Knight said to him. KD Knight said something about conspiracy, you know. And we're going to look tonight and we're going to dissect that, you know. I am going to tell you, Andrew. And you hear what Dan Anderson say? More than ever, he anticipates a higher voter turnout A higher voter turnout against an incumbent government is not a good look, you know. Anybody tell you when there is a higher voter turnout, the incumbent in trouble, you know.
Pack your bags, put in your clothes and your belongings, because you can't stay as Prime Minister of Jamaica, because the international reputation of Jamaica is important, and you have, by allowing these allegations, brought Jamaica into disrepute.
You hear what Katie said? By allowing the allegations, Prime Minister, the allegation of using 30,000 charitable funds, $30,000, you know, US, $4.5 million of charitable funds to buy a bond. And when the bond was paid out, it never go back to the charity. Hey, hey. Positive Foundation. Can you imagine Prime Minister Mia Mottley having a foundation in Barbados, and the Bajans found out that she took 30,000 US from the foundation to do her personal business? Can you imagine if Keith Rowley took 30%, 30,000 US from a Trinidad charity? Are you aware how the Trinidadians would be namming him alive? Can you imagine if Comrade Ralph Gonzalez in St. Vincent and the Grenadines took the Vincentian money, the Vincentian charity, to do his personal business? Can you imagine the Antiguan Prime Minister, the St. Lucian Prime Minister, the Bahamian Prime Minister?
What can go so?
So I am saying tonight, Jamaica, the very fact that you're Prime Minister, the very fact, imagine Joe Biden or Vice President Harris took charitable money to buy a bond for themselves. Me not think gonna get it, you know. Imagine. And they have not gone to look within Positive Foundation charity. Who else was a member of the charity? Who else was a director? Nigel Clark. And then Nigel Clark take away himself. Go farm when he became member of parliament for North something they were St. Andrew. He formed Growth and Opportunity Trust. So look like it's who did tell Nigel to go do this charity business. Look like it's the Prime Minister I'm learning from. Could it be it's a Ruel Reid learn about? You understand where I'm coming from tonight, Jamaica? So Nigel have, see that? Him going in 2018, 27.8 million In a 2018, 2019, contribution 8.2 million. 2020, 35.3. 2021, 1.6. Mighty God. You know, my granny always tell me birds of a feather. Birds of a feather. I wonder if Nigel Clark know that if the IMF all hear them something here. Hey! So Nigel get the template from Andrew. This look like brother Nancy and Pupa Tukuma. No. I'm going to say it again, Jamaica. I'm going to say it again. I wonder if Nigel is aware that should somebody send this report to the IMF. Remember, Zara said not even the counselors knew about the trust fund, Not even the counselors know about the trust fund. And almost 100 million just push. And you're going to tell me Jamaica. But then, ask yourself, the Prime Minister had Patrick Bailey around him, Harold Brady around him, Roel Reid around him, Nigel Clark. Do you see a common denominator with all of those names? I'm going to say, the Prime Minister had Patrick Bailey, Harold Brady, Roel Reid, Nigel Clark. Do you see a common denominator with all of them? Students, tell me what the common denominator you get from it.
He like.
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again! So tell your neighbor, tell your friend! Green man I ride with like mule, and I take the nation for fall! But we have a new name for him! What the name? Him name Eli! Bangarang! Oh, we tired of the labor pay! The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain! Yes, we tired of the labor pay! Poverty of us we shut and we going insane! Why? Eli! At the new name for the bus driver! Eli! That's how you hear on every corner! Eli! Him name a ring throughout Jamaica! Eli! On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday. Eli.
So, I'm going to say it again. There is a common denominator when you think about Patrick Bailey, when you think about Roel Reid, when you think about Nigel and Harold Brady, all close confederates to the Prime Minister. Isn't it ironic? And I believe it's a breach of Nigel Clark's fiduciary duties, No financial institution would want to be associated with somebody who... No, when I heard about the charities in Nigel Clark, and I'm saying, I think we need to when Zara comes tonight, I think we need to go back over this charity thing with Nigel Clark, you know. That to me, Jamaica, very questionable. Very, very questionable. You know what else is questionable? Tonight I'm going to ask Zara to zoom in with me into the 3 companies: Estabridge, Imperium, and Positive Media. You hear what I said? The Estabridge, the Imperium, and Positive Media. We're going to zoom in tonight, Jamaica, into those companies. Zara will be here soon. I know a lot of people are saying, where is Zara tonight? And students, I just want to say to you all that if Zara decides that she wants to talk on something more, I don't want any of you to attack her. Hear what I'm saying, students? Leave it to me to control the discussion. I thought some of your responses last night were quite distasteful and disrespectful. And I'm just simply saying tonight, Jamaica, be tolerable to other people's views. I never appreciate last night that when she started to speak about Mr. Golding, a lot of you started to take offense. You guys remember, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to have discussions from varied perspectives. You might not find the discussion to your liking, but oh God, man, have little decency and have little respect. Can we agree on that tonight? Can we agree on that tonight? Can we agree on that tonight? And I know a lot of people watching tonight because the rain make no found in our yard. Plenty in our yard tonight. Plenty in our yard tonight. You can't go to no bangaran. So I appreciate the weather. That the weather allow a lot of you to stay in tonight. I open a roof, now leak. If no roof, I leak, no set 2 pan. Set 2 bucket Jamaica. Set 2 bucket tonight if the rain, if the roof a leak. All right. I remember to like up the chat, sending some super chat. We're going to be doing all we're doing tonight. Send up some super chat. Send some $10 and $20. Send some gifts over here. I never get a lion yet TikTok. One now they can't give me a lion over here. Make me have a reaction. I never get a lion yet, students. May I ask you if you send a super chat? Send something tonight, Jamaica, as we look into what is happening. But before Zara comes, are you aware that the murderer in a Slickiana death, Russian Barnett, is on leave, is on bail, and the bail was extended today, Jamaica? Are you aware tonight, Jamaica, that Russian Barnett, this murderer, who is said to have murdered Slickiana. And they're saying that the postmortem and the DNA reports are still outstanding. So them can't advance the discussion, you know. Them can't advance the case. Russian Pattison. Remember, it was alleged, you know, that this person, it was alleged, Jamaica, that this person is not the first in committing a heinous crime, you know. This man who is a threat to national security, the judge grant him bail. It is alleged he murdered somebody before. And the judge granted him bail, Jamaica. You know, sometimes I feel to give up. Me not know, me can't take all of this all at once. He was granted bail. And then there are times when we will say that the country's justice system works, and there are other times we're going to question if the country's justice system makes sense. There are times when you would argue that the country's justice system works. And there are times when you would say, does the system make sense? Me don't know if it's about that one here. Me don't know what to say. Remember tomorrow morning, the opposition must be at 8 o'clock having the People's Parliament. At 8 o'clock, the opposition will be having the People's Parliament. I don't know how it is being held. Me never get no invitation and me not know for myself. So, you can go watch it, but I don't think I'll be carrying it Jamaica. All right? So, you can go watch what them I go bring, but I don't know how it is being brought. So, you can go find it out on them social media pages, etc. But them the time me are busy do all my things them. Now look pan them. You can tell me after how it go, but I'm not looking at it. Yeah, Jamaica. So we're getting there. We're wrapping up. We remember students. Plenty of you still haven't reached out to me about on a food fiesta. May I ask you respectfully? Remember, tomorrow is the last day. May I take orders? Tomorrow is the last day I'm taking orders for the food fiesta. Please, please. Please, I'm asking you. Please, Jamaica. Whosoever supporting me, remember tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is the last day to send in your orders. I'm asking you all. I'm asking you all to work with me for tomorrow. All right? We're going to be, if you want to know what's on the menu, send me a WhatsApp at 865-4587. It is this Friday, 865-4587 995 5301. Soulfie, send me back a WhatsApp with the order, please and thank you. All right. All right, students. Now we're going to, yes, that is rain. A lot of rain is falling. Plenty rain. No, the Spanish Town not working out. The delivery in Spanish Town, I think the only place them going is to meet people at the police station in Spanish Town. Them not going in and far in Spanish Town, all right? But we're going to start the discussion anytime now. Anytime now. I know a lot of people are on the edge to hear more tonight. More tonight. So let me hear. Hello, good night. Hello. Miss Burton will be joining us anytime now, guys. Let me see what else this is there. Have you seen the video of the child that the mother is threatening? I find it so depressing. Can you show the video of what the mother was saying to the baby?
But take him in a murder and push the work. Hear me a one, you know. Hear me a fucking one, you know. Hear me a bumbo clock one, you know. Eh? Hear me a one, you know. Alright. You not take you one in and take it careless and say my bumbo clot do it. Not take it. No blood clot take you one. Hear me I tell you crosses bumbo old boy in my life here you pick me. Come take your bumbo clot crosses and want it pick me out of my bumbo clot life. So me can go live it. Adopt me I tell him I go top murder and bumbo clot.
Anybody know who has access to that baby? Anybody knows who has access to that child? If you know Jamaica, I'm asking you to reach out to the necessary authorities. If you know Jamaica, who she is, reach out to the necessary authorities so that we can take the baby from her and we can get her the kind of mental, social, psychosocial help that she needs. All right? So I'm saying, they say she come from St. Mary. Anybody in St. Mary knows that voice or that baby? We know she needs mental health support, Jamaica. Me now go condemn and beat and that, but she sounds like a stressed mother. So I'm asking you, anybody who is out there who can help the mother, help the child, know where the mother is, please to get us the details. But now Jamaica is the moment where we're all waiting on. Let us welcome Zara Burton, investigative journalist. Zara, good night. Zara, your screen is off. I don't think she knows that her screen is off, you know. Let us try again. Can you exit her and get her to come back, please? She'll be back in a second, Jamaica. But in the interim, you can subscribe to her website. It is www.18degreesnorth.tv. 18degreesnorth.tv. See it there? It's a simple. So you just enter your email and you subscribe. Oh. And then you choose like a payment method or so forth, and it will carry you to the website. You can choose to pay monthly at $10, or you pay an annual fee of $100 US. And you get all of the details of what is happening on our website. All right. She's coming back shortly, Jamaica. I know everybody anxious and waiting. Produce, oh, she's not there yet. All right, we're getting there, Jamaica. Just wait, man. Just wait. We're getting there tonight. We're getting there. The grandmother is on the platform. Where is the grandmother? Where is the grandmother? They say the grandmother is. Yeah, you can call it dead here, Noel Williams. Call it all you want. But I am talking. Leave me alone tonight, Noel, respectfully. Oh, God, don't bother with the foolishness tonight. No bother start up with them something, man, Noel. Sometimes I want to ease on yourself and appreciate. Yeah, she says she's having a bit of technical problem, but she's trying. Wow. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Give her a little time. No, we can't play a song, no, man. The whole of the people, them are waiting. 8,000 strong are waiting on Noel. And by time Zara start talk, I'm sure. But nobody now bless up no super chatter. You know, them a program and should have start carry them program exclusive and subscriptions only. Palm Patreon and them something there. Cause some man I get them information there on now. Hello, good night. Yes, what are you saying, miss?
I'm trying to tell you that I'm really a fan of yours. I'm a comforting fan. And I want you to, I don't like how the labor right them bashing you. I want you to change it, get some sheets and change the sheets. The labor right them talking about them TikTok, oh, you have one sheet and all of that.
And you think, say, my sheet is a problem?
No, I don't.
Oh, you're really not, but there is, you don't, if you, no, but if you watch me, no, but if you watch me, lady, go in peace, respectfully. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good night.
Yes.
Yes, the recent bullying incident that took place at the school with the young man. Trust me.
Sir, we're not talking about no bullying tonight, all right?
I understand, but I tell you this. The state need to put some tougher laws in place to remove these toxic students. And toxic.
All right, sir, my guest is here. All right, bless you. My sheet a few no problem. One thing me know for sure, my sheet, you know what? Hello. Yes, Zara. Welcome, Zara, tonight. Yes,
Hi.
Zara, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, Mike. Yes.
Sorry for the lateness.
Investigative journalist.
We're having technical issues yet again. Anyway, so good night.
Yes, Zara.
Uncle Hugh is all right. I'm good. I'm sure. I'm positive. Thank you. Yes.
So, Zara, you were here yesterday night and we started to dissect sections of the Integrity Commission's report on the Prime Minister. Am I correct?
Yes, indeed, you are.
Okay. So we're going a little further tonight, Zara. And I want you to talk, before we go into the whole companies, etc. Some people were saying that they needed some more details about Nigel Clark's.
Oh.
What's the name of the
Growth and Opportunity Trust, the foundation.
Growth and Opportunity Trust. Right? But you said that in 2020, he took out of the trust about 30.5 million, right?
Yeah.
And out of that 30.5 million, it wasn't explained what the monies were used for.
Correct. Essentially, what happened was that there were just broad categories presented in the whole thing of it all, right? So I can tell you what the categories of spending were, right? And it's true that in 2020, $35.3 million was raised by Growth and Opportunity Trust. And in that same year, 30.5 million was spent, right? Now, if you look at the financials and how they presented it, right? What they basically say here is that the spending categories are administration, operations, and special operations. And in certain areas, they had reference to notes in the financials, but there were no notes attached to the actual financials that were filed at the company's office. So you can't get any more detail than what I just gave you. Administration, operations, and special operations.
So you can't find nothing more to say, really, and you can't track anything to say what them really do with the money.
Correct. Exactly. Hit the nail right on the head.
Wow. But Zara, is Growth and Opportunity Trust registered with the Friendly Societies of Jamaica?
Yes, it is a tax-exempt organization, which is what caught my attention, right? Unlike Positive Jamaica Foundation, which is not a registered tax-exempt organization at the Friendly Societies, Department of Cooperative and Friendly Societies, which is where the tax-exempt charities are, meaning that they don't pay income tax and other categories of taxes as well. Some of them are also exempt on certain categories. The Growth and Opportunity Trust has been registered at DCFS as a tax-exempt charity.
Wow. So his is registered, but the Prime Minister's own Positive Foundation hasn't.
Positive Jamaica Foundation is not.
What year did Positive Jamaica Foundation charity was formed?
2011, when he was
Prime Minister.
I'm trying to remember if he was actually Prime Minister at the time.
Yeah, man.
Or he was about to become Prime Minister. I'll have to check that.
So have you been able to get the financial records of Positive Jamaica Foundation?
Yes, I have, and I wrote about it. If I could, be allowed to just send you this, I'm going to send you something that maybe you could share with your audience, which is the chart of the spending for Growth and Opportunity Trust. I sent it to you in the chat. You can share it with the audience right now if you want, so that they can see the money coming in and out of the, there's a chart in that particular link that I just sent to you, but not Positive Jamaica Foundation, Growth and Opportunity Trust. Positive Jamaica Foundation, I do have the financials, but not in a bar chart as nicely presented as what I just sent to you.
All right. I don't get it yet.
It's in the chat in the StreamYard live at the back end, backstage.
Oh, Lord. Let me see if I can get in to... Producer, if you see it, can you send it to me, please? So if I can take out what I can take out of it. Okay. So from 2011 to present, approximately how much money has charity Positive Jamaica Foundation raised?
Okay, so I'm going to give that to you right now. Spending, I think it was about 60 million, but let me give the exact figure because I have to look back at the story. Okay. And incidentally, Positive Jamaica Foundation has the categories of spending, unlike Nigel Clark that had 3 categories that I just mentioned. Positive Jamaica had other categories of spending, like it would list other philanthropy in, as one of the categories, corporate grants as one of the categories. It would have planning and events, advertising, so it had, let us call it more detail, but those still are very kind of broad categories. You know what I mean? In terms of how the foundation's revenue is used each year. Okay.
So they had a broader sense of what was being used.
Well, Positive Jamaica, I would say, provided more detail than Nigel Clark's Growth and Opportunity Trust, right? There was much more detail, I would say, in Mr. Holness's Positive Jamaica Foundation than the other one that Nigel Clark has.
So the one presented by Holness, therefore, was a little bit more transparent.
I don't know if transparent is the word. It just had more categories of spending. Yeah, it just had more.
Having more categories of spending don't necessarily give us a fulsome understanding of where the money is.
Exactly. So that is what is important to point out.
So you're saying from 2011 to about 2023?
It was about 59 million. From my memory, it was about 59 million in total for up to 2000 and I think it was up to 2020, as you said. But I'm going to see it right now and tell you, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh boy, it's not giving me.
Just take your time, Zara.
What I can tell you here, I'm just going to read this part to you, right? Spending totaled around 31 million in the 2 years between 2019 and 2020. more than double the approximately 14 million in the cumulative years of expenditure between 2012 and 2018, 7 years before. So if you add the 14 million plus the 31 million, that come to 45 million. Yeah, there. But I believe that we have maybe 2021 as well. So that is a part of it that I don't have for you right away.
So in that set of money, that is where Holness took the 30,000 US to do the bond work.
Well, that is what is curious to me. And you're raising an excellent point, because Positive Jamaica Foundation, according to the Integrity Commission report, supposedly contributed to this bond. 94,000 US dollars was what was,
used to take out the bond.
Right. But Positive Jamaica, according to these financials, only had, well, let me see how much 60, let us say it was 60 million.
Because if it's that amount of money, that's what I'm if that is the amount of money, it would be very cruel to have gone into that charitable account to take out money out of it.
Very true. Hold on a second. I just checking out how much 60 million is. Just divided by even an exchange rate of 140, right? Okay, so it does come to 428,571 US.
Yes.
If I do the 60 million divided by 140, 428,571. So that is how much it raised in US terms. And then it said 30-something thousand was taken out for
that 400,000.
Pardon?
But that no. But no, Zara. So the man making that in the charity, and he went into the charity to take out that.
He will say he never necessarily took that out for himself. He may have raised it for investment purposes for the charity, right? So let us say some charities, as you know, will raise money and they will also invest some of it so that the earnings from the interest can do charitable projects. That is something that charities do. So the idea of investing in a bond might just be for the continuity of the charity. Where the challenge came in was more from the standpoint of the fact that the Integrity Commission, the DI, had found evidence that the way that this situation was set up was that money from Positive Jamaica was supposedly used to fund this bond. And yet, when it was called, right, and the proceeds of the interest came out, that it went to, I believe it's to Andrew Holness or his Imperium Investments, right? I'm going to try and find a section in the Integrity Commission report related to that. Pardon?
It went to Imperium Investments. It never go back to Positive Jamaica Foundation.
Well, it went back to Positive Jamaica Foundation eventually, but the Integrity Commission is saying after they had made contact with NCD Capital Markets.
Wow. Zara.
So this whole no, so this whole thing of the charity, it seems like the charity benefited, yes, at some point for sure, but was that something ethical? Well, the DI has a viewpoint on it. I don't know if you want me to go into that.
Yeah, what did the DI's viewpoint on it state again?
All right. Trying to find the section. Remember that this is a big document, so you have to bear with me with certain things.
We're bearing with you, man. Bearing with you.
Right. Okay. So, discussion of the findings.
Jamaica, I know a lot of you appreciate what we're doing here because many of you are not going to sit down and read a report of 170 plus pages. So we're trying our very best to dissect it for you. So please appreciate what we're doing. Please appreciate what we're doing. As I said, please appreciate, and we're going to take it further.
Okay. All right. So this is all right. It states the value of the instrument to be US $94,000. And the officer at NCB Capital Markets confirmed that this is what they relied on by the entity.
Yes.
As it relates to the number of units to purchase on behalf of Mr. Holness, that is US 94,000. NCB Capital Market indicated it only takes written instructions from clients in respect of bond instruments. These instructions are captured in either a bond letter or a bond purchase agreement. Mr. Holness is presented with statements of account on a regular basis, which clearly shows the value of the instrument, that is US $94,000 in addition to interest. Mr. Holness has not before June of 2024 indicated that his intentions were not as documented in the bond purchase agreement. NCB Capital Markets has indicated that the bond was called early and the proceeds and principal transferred to Mr. Holness's holding company Imperium on September 22, 2020. No corrections can therefore be made to the bond agreement as it was originally crafted. It no longer exists. The actions taken by NCBCM on behalf of Mr. Holness on June 24, 2024 were therefore based on fresh instructions from him and not a correction as he stated in his July 16, 2024 response. So, the evidence, okay, this goes on. The evidence indicates that on October 21, 2020, adjustments were made to Mr. Holness's account on the basis that funds belonging to Positive Jamaica Foundation were erroneously deposited in said accounts. Now, this seems to be for a different bond, right? The transaction was reversed on October 26, 2020. There was no indication at this or at any other stage that the US 94,000 bond was incorrect and should instead be US 61,892.98 prior to the DI inquiries in June 2024. And the full proceeds of the US 94,000 bond, inclusive of US 32,107, which is now being said to belong to Positive Jamaica Foundation, were transferred to Imperium and reinvested by that entity. In other words, the portion allegedly belonging to Positive Jamaica Foundation formed part of Imperium's assets for over 3 years and was appropriated by that entity as it deemed appropriated. I think that's what you said, as it deemed. Okay, yeah? The funds were only remitted to Positive Jamaica Foundation after inquiries were made by the DI.
So the long and short is?
The foregoing raises questions. This is the long and short. The foregoing raises questions as to whether Mr. Holness's alleged use of funds belonging to a charitable foundation to partially fund the acquisition of a personal asset amounts to misappropriation. The DI finds in the circumstances that an investigation by the FID is warranted. That's the long and short. That is the investigation that the DI at the Integrity Commission wants the FID to conduct in part.
This is the part where I'm saying it was a correction that needed to be made, and the FIDs, the IC is saying that there's a lot of cloud around this bond agreement.
Okay, so let us get this straight, right? What I seem to be saying here is that $94,000 of money, a bond worth 94,000 US dollars was purchased. Okay, 32,000 of that, 32,000 approximately of that was money that allegedly came from Positive Jamaica Foundation. Okay, and 60 something thousand came from the Prime Minister, right? So what they're saying is that even though this money came from Positive Jamaica Foundation, when the bond was turned in, right, and all the interest came out and all the various bits of it, the interest was actually not turned over to Positive Jamaica Foundation, even though the money to invest had come from Positive Jamaica Foundation. Instead, the money formed part of Imperium's assets, and Imperium Investments Holdings is Mr. Holness's, where he has his assets. When he wound down ADMAT in St. Lucia, where he had his assets, those assets were turned over to Imperium. Imperium and Positive Jamaica essentially had put together to buy this $94,000 bond. But when the interest from this bond came in and the proceeds came in, the money was turned over to Imperium to reinvest and not Positive Jamaica Foundation. And so the DI started to ask questions, and then instructions were received from Mr. Holness at NCB Capital Markets to put the money into Positive Jamaica Foundation's accounts or whatever their asset base was. And so the DI is saying, before he was asking the questions, he's saying it raises a question as to whether Mr. Holness's alleged use of funds belonging to a charitable foundation to partially fund the acquisition of a personal asset amounts to misappropriation. And that's why he's asking for the FID to investigate. Now,
interesting.
I want to point out, remember that Mr. Holness has his own story to back this up, or to, not to back it up necessarily, to counter it, I should say. Okay?
Yes.
So
what was his counter response?
Okay. So now,
look like you love this report, Zara, because you're saying, boy, I have fix the camera properly, Zara, because the people are seeing the beautiful Zara well. Yes. Thank you.
This is a challenge. I'm so challenged, right? Because I'm trying to work the computer at the same time for a lot of research.
We still have to look at the beautiful Zara. So, what was the counter response of this gentleman?
Okay, so let me see if I have my phone. Okay. He said it in Parliament, and he also had it. I'm going to pull up his statement to Parliament just so that we can see what he had to say about it. Hold on.
Producer, do you have the statement that the Prime Minister made in Parliament last week, Tuesday? I think that is the one.
It's here. I found it. Okay, it's just a matter of the section now. Hold on. Okay. All right, this is how he says it. I reject the finding that I acquired an asset for which the source of fund is not adequately explained. The Commission pointed out that this whole episode started with an incorrect statement from a bank. Hold on a second. Okay. The Commission pointed out that this whole episode started with an incorrect statement from a bank. So too was the asset in question, the subject of errors by the financial institution that managed the asset. While I authorized the transaction from the outset of the acquisition of the asset in 2019, I was unaware that the financial institution had assigned an amount in error to my account from an associated company. A year later, the investment instrument, a bond, was called by the issuer, and the financial institution made another error and pooled my funds with the associated company funds. As soon as I discovered this pooling error, I alerted the institution and instructed that the accounts be correctly separated. However, the initial incorrect assignment was not corrected at that time. I only became aware of the discrepancy when the institution alerted me in June of this year. Once it was brought to my attention...
It took him almost 4 years to realize that that error was made, Zara.
That is what he's saying. And he said, once it was brought to my attention, the funds incorrectly assigned to my account in 2019 was rectified.
The man can't tell me and you, the Prime Minister, who is so erudite and so hands-on, made an error from 2019 and corrected it in 2024.
Well, he's saying the financial institution was the one that made the error.
So he never realized that error all this time. But how would the financial institution get authority to take money from the charity? Wouldn't he have been the one to giving them the authorization?
That's just it. And I think that's where the DI is saying is that NCB Capital Markets takes written instructions from clients, right? And so he was also presented with statements of accounts over the years, clearly showing that the value of the account was $94,000 in addition to interest.
But probably Zara, he wouldn't be able to monitor the accounts. Remember, it's 28 accounts, you know.
That's maybe, true, but that's still a large sum, and I would think that somebody would know that their account isn't as plush as that if let's say I invest $64,000 in something, and I see it's gone up to $94,000 plus interest. I wouldn't have to, if I open the statement over a couple of years, it's not 1 year, it's not 2 years, it's 4 years. I wouldn't have to question where the rest of the 30-something thousand on the statement is coming from, or is that just him assuming that eventually the two accounts would become separate? You know what I mean? Like, there are some other components to all of this, I would say to you. Yeah. And then there was a statement that was put out, I think, after the fact. But to be honest with you, I don't fully understand it. That's why I'm hesitant to go in there. And I think
you don't have to go there, because I'm trying to get a financial analyst tomorrow night to dissect aspects of them financial things there. I hope the person will respond.
This isn't so much a financial thing. This is about somebody, after this report, I guess, was put to the parliament. There was another addendum that was added from somebody at NCB Capital Markets, I believe, right? Trying to explain how this whole Positive Jamaica Foundation error could have happened and all the various bits of it. I can try to pull it up, but I can tell you it's going to take me like a time to pull it up, and I don't fully understand it. So
maybe of Zara. Don't worry yourself.
But I believe that whatever it is may have supported Mr. Holness's position, to be fair to the conversation, right?
Okay.
So I'm not sure it does, but I think so.
That is something to look into, and I'll follow up on that. NCB Cap tomorrow. Don't worry yourself.
Okay. But the DI concluded what he did based on the evidence that was presented, including from people at NCB Capital Markets as well, that the DI, the FID should investigate this kind of intermingling that was going on.
Well, we're to see if the FID, I gather that the FID says they'll be looking into the claims by the Integrity Commission. So let us see how that advances and where it goes. Zara, I want us to look tonight into his three companies: Esther Bridge, Imperium, and Positive Media. I remember you were doing some reporting on those companies some time ago. What were your findings about these companies the Prime Minister was formulating? I remember there was something with a Mr. Azan and something, and then there was the one with Mr. Brown. So I wanted to tell us more about these three companies that the Prime Minister saw. Are they actual companies? From your research, are they shell companies?
Okay, so I would say they're more holding companies to me, look like that. Anyway, let me tell you that. All right, remember in 060 when I first did my report, and incidentally, for people who want to be in the know about these kinds of reports ahead of everybody else, you can always sign up on my website, www.18degreesnorth.tv, because this Estate Bridge, Imperium, Positive Media Solutions, it has come to the fore in September for everybody to see. But if you had been watching 18 Degrees North or reading 18 Degrees North, you would have at least known on a name-by-name basis, not these details like what the Integrity Commission accomplished, but you would have at least noticed some of the information about the fact that Mr. Holness had dissolved his ADMAT Incorporated in St. Lucia and what he ended up doing. Because remember now, he had owned the Shenstone Drive house, which is the mansion, with ADMAT. He had also owned Wycliffe Close, a lot up in Beverly Hills, right? He had owned those two properties. So what happened when ADMAT was closed down in 2021? He basically split the two properties as two different owners, okay? So what he did was the Shenstone Drive house became owned by Imperium. Imperium is a company that was incorporated in Jamaica, okay? And it's to hold assets. And Mr. Holness, you know, in the Integrity Commission report, they do make a thing about the fact that the assets owned by ADMAT were transferred to Imperium. Right? Except for Wycliffe Close, which is the other lot that is up in Beverly Hills. That land was purchased by ADMAT for about $15.2 million in 08. So, no, sorry, I'm getting confused with the Acadia apartment, excuse me. It was purchased by ADMAT in 09, okay, 09. And it was in 021 when ADMAT was dissolved, it was transferred to Estate Bridge, which is another company that is owned
by Mr. Holness.
Well, initially owned by Imperium, which is owned by Mr. Holness, and also Norman Brown, which is the guy you mentioned. He's actually the head, the chairperson at
UDC and HAG.
Right, housing agency. And that falls under Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, which has its own issues because the Prime Minister is also the Minister of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and Norman Brown reports to him. So here you have two business partners, essentially. Mr. Holness assigning this person to head up agencies that deal with housing, and they are involved in a housing development. So there's a lot of mix-up. Anyway,
it's a lot of bangarang.
It's a lot of mix-up. Sijia Anderson, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, that's a sister. She was also part of Estate Bridge. So just think about it this way. Imperium is essentially backed by Mr. Holness.
So him don't, yes, and we agree that him don't have any shareholder in Imperium except himself, based on research.
Right. Some shares are unallocated, but we don't know who those belong to.
Who those shares were went to.
Or if they've been issued to anybody. Estate Bridge, as I said, Sijia Anderson, 2,000 shares. There were 10,000 shares in full. Sijia Anderson, 2,000 shares. That's the sister of Mr. Holness. Norman Brown, 2,000 shares. Imperium at the time, 5,001 share when it was incorporated. Yeah, and it was incorporated in July of 2020. And then 999 shares unassigned. So 999 unassigned, right? Now, it is interesting to see the construction in terms of accounts for Estate Bridge. Because remember, we're talking about initially now when it was incorporated.
Yes.
According to the Integrity Commission report, it says that Estate Bridge had an NCB account. And if you look at who was the signatures on that account, it said Mr. Holness, Sijia Anderson, and Norman Brown. They were the signatories for Estate Bridge. Okay?
So Holness sister.
Mr. Holness himself and Norman Brown were signatories to the NCB account for Estate Bridge. Now, there was another account that was Estate Bridge, and this was at NCB Capital Markets. Right? As of 2021, only Mr. Holness was the signatory on that account. Right?
On the capital market account.
Right, for Estate Bridge. Right? And he signed as CEO, Managing Director, and Executive Director. However, he was removed as a signatory in 022 from that account. So he no longer was a signatory as of 2022 on that account at NCB Capital Market. So they seem to have two accounts, a checking, like a current and savings account at NCB regular, and then a
so I'm removing himself from the capital market account.
Correct. Right.
So who took over the signatory for that the capital market account?
You know what? I read it, but it's not clear to me from the Integrity Commission report who is the signatory now. Right. But what I can tell you is that the shareholding kind of changed for Estate Bridge. Right. And this was in 2000 and about 22. The share allocation changed. And this is what the Integrity Commission wrote. They said that Norman Brown, he went from having 2,000 shares in 2020 to 1,000 shares. So J. Anderson kept her 2,000 shares. Imperium forfeited 4,100 shares, representing a $38.6 million value. So they were curious about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adam Holness, which is Mr. Holness's son,
Mm-hmm.
he got 1,000 of the Imperium shares, and then he also got, I guess, an additional 1,000 shares because he ended up with 2,000 shares.
So the son now get 2,000 shares in Esther Bridge.
Estate. It's Estate Bridge
Estate
Development.
Bridge.
Estate Bridge Development, yeah. And so that is the ownership of Estate Bridge, right? So we don't know anymore. You know, it doesn't seem like Mr. Holness is directly, you know, in terms of share allocation. But I need to compare these findings of the Integrity Commission in terms of Estate Bridge shareholdings with some information that I had pulled. That, you know, I don't really think it's the same exact thing. So they seem to have some different things. But anyway, the point is that Estate Bridge owns the Wycliffe Close land up in Beverly Hills, where development of 4 townhouses is either going on or has finished. Last time I checked, which was much earlier this year, it was still going on, but it, you know, the construction was there. And they also owned, as I pointed out yesterday from the Integrity Commission report, 2 properties down in Trelawney,
the Trelawney.
Stonebrook Manor. So that is what Estate Bridge has in terms of properties, but it has seemingly other assets as well.
What other assets they have, though, Zara, that you came across?
Oh boy, hold on, let's see. Try to get out everything. Okay, so it says it has investments totaling 91.5 million. And it says that I think some of that is the same land. Right.
So they're probably lands that are
the assets. Hold on. So the assets are total is 145.2 million for Estate Bridge. Land developed and under construction and development is 53.68 million, and then other investments totaling 91.5 million. It's not clear what those other investments are to me. Yeah. So the assets overall, 145.2 million. Estate Bridge.
But you don't know what that 95 million represents.
91.5 million. Yeah.
91.5.
I'm not clear from the Integrity Commission report. I'm not clear.
So when this company, Zara, was doing their where would I call them, annual tax returns, was this one of the companies that Mr. Holness filed nil?
According to the Integrity Commission, yes, let me just try to pull it up. I think, oh boy.
I really wanted to answer that one.
Estate Bridge. There was a nil return filed that I know. Yes.
There was a nil return.
Estate Bridge said that there was some documentation, management accounts that Mr. Holness had turned into it that indicated that Estate Bridge had earned interest and income of around $1 million for the year ending 2021. Even though they had activity, they filed a nil return. But, you know, to be honest with you, there and Imperium as well, I would point out, I'm going to make a point about these nil returns, right? Yes. But hold on a second. Let me just say this. Imperium also had activity. It had oh boy, Imperium. Okay, $5.1 million worth of income and $9.8 million worth of expenses in 2021. And for 2022, it had $6.5 million worth of income and $9.5 million worth of expenses, right? Now, if you look at the expenses versus the income in both cases, you would see a loss in each case, because I just did some math here. I mean, the Integrity Commission never said that. It just said what the income were and what the expenses were. But I'm saying if you have $5.1 million worth of income and $9.8 million worth of expenses, it would seem to me just average person
you're at a
in
loss.
a loss position, right? So even if a nil return was filed and nil returns were filed, I'm trying to figure out how many years nil returns were filed. But even if you had filed a nil return according to the Integrity Commission, I'm not sure about whether there would have been a tax liability because of what I just said regarding the loss position, at least in the case of Imperium. Mr. Holness has also said that as far as he knows, the one that he's directly associated with, as far as he knows, it's compliant with the tax filings. But nevertheless, what the Integrity Commission said is that there were nil returns showing no activity. Yeah. I will tell you that as a business owner, when I first started business, right?
Yes.
I wasn't a business owner at first, as a journalist, as an independent journalist. And I will tell you that I too, sometimes because of the fact that I, let us say your account's not ready yet, you file a nil return and they amend it, right? There's a lot of people do that, okay? And that's what at first I was advised to do. Now, in the States, when you have, let us say, the same problem, there's something you can file like an extension form that you need some more time to do it or whatever the case is. But in Jamaica, I don't think we have that. And so you really have to get it in on time. But you don't want to be delinquent. You don't want to file false, but you know, you file nil and then you amend. That is what I know that some people have done. I can tell you, I'm one of those that have done that. And then you amend the return, right? And I know I amend mine always if I file a nil return. I never heard in the Integrity Commission report of any amendment that occurred, right? So I could be one of those to that, you know, would say, okay, at some point or another, I had zero activity, zero, whatever the case is, but I know I amend mine every year, right? In terms of the actual thing. So what I'm saying is, I don't know if there was a tax liability, but what I can say to you, and I can read it to you, what the Integrity Commission report said regarding this whole issue, right? And they actually referred it to the TAG to investigate it as well, right? And this is something that's very important. I mean, millions of dollars worth of activity and no filing from the Integrity Commission's perspective, that's not okay, okay? So let's focus on what the Integrity Commission has to say about some of this stuff.
Yes,
right?
read out what they say about these filings, please.
So Imperium did file a nil return for 021 and 022. And I told you what the revenues were for both years, millions in both cases. And in both cases, they had expenses of millions. And in both cases, I would say for both years, it seems like, just to me as a person, just average, that there would have been a loss in both cases. Okay, but nevertheless, the Integrity Commission is what we're focused on. So it says here as well, right, that Estate Bridge Management's account show interest income of $1 million. Notwithstanding the foregoing, Estate Bridge filed a nil tax return for 2021, which means that the business has not engaged in any revenue generating activity in that year, right? So that's the other one that filed a nil tax return, Estate Bridge.
So Estate Bridge and Imperial
the Integrity Commission said that they believe that the TAG needs to look into this. Okay?
Look into it.
Yes, exactly.
What
there
about
were some other companies? Oh, go ahead.
What about Positive Media?
Okay, so this is where I was going next. They also had income according to a statement of the management accounts that was submitted by Mr. Holness to the Integrity Commission, indicating a total income of $20.069 million Yeah, so they filed a nil tax return for 2021 and 2022, indicating that the business had not engaged in any revenue generating activity over the 2 years of its existence, right? So
wasn't this the company that Green Emerald loan some $20 million?
Well, Positive Media has its story for sure, but I'm just getting to the point of the nil returns. So Green Emerald, yes, loaned Positive Media, and Positive Media was set up, by the way, in 2020. And you alluded to this earlier. Positive Media was essentially, Mr. Holness explained, to do media broadcasting, multimedia services, communications, events planning, or at least that's what the company's office records show. And one share, it has 100 shares. One share is held by Markazan, which is a business owner that I wrote about previously in one of my articles on my website. Again, that's www.18degreesnorth.tv. 99 of the shares of Positive Media at the time when the company was incorporated in 2020 in October, 99 shares were held by Imperium. Then fast forward to October 2022. Again, this is something that was covered by 18 Degrees North. The son, not Adam, no, the younger one, Matthew Holness, right? He, instead of it being Imperium, he now becomes the shareholder. So Imperium forfeits the 99 shares. Matthew Holness assumes those 99 shares, and he's a junior, that's why it's Matthew Holness. And Markazan maintains the one share.
So right? Set up him two son them. One in a real estate and one in a media. No man, him set up him picnic them.
Oh goodness.
Man, Zara.
What struck me about this company though, what struck me about this company was its clients. I mean, I was like, this company set up in 2020 and have so much, set up in terms of either revenue, income, or because remember they said that Positive Media, not Positive Jamaica, Positive Media had income of 20 million, and I say 20 million for a brand new company. You know what I mean? That's pretty decent. And when you look at who the customers are for this,
who are some of the customers, Zara? Tell us who are some of the customers.
JLP is one of the customers.
The Jamaica Labour Party.
Exactly. Then
and the Holness is a customer. Hey.
No, he never said he himself is a customer.
Okay.
But his West Central St. Andrew Trust, which we haven't really talked about much, but that's another charitable kind of non-profit organization that's affiliated with his constituency. So he's actually involved in more than one of these non-profits. And the West Central St. Andrew Trust was one, and also the Positive Jamaica Foundation was one. I think he's since removed himself as a director of both, but for the longest time, he was a director of both. Yeah. Anyway.
And I get they said company will lend them the money. Green Emerald is a client.
Exactly. And that's where I was going to go next, right? Green Emerald is a client. So now let us talk about Green Emerald, because this one I find interesting. So let me just talk about the nil tax return and everything. So Green Emerald provided loans to Positive Media, and it was into the 20 million category of loans. Now, this is kind of really an eye-opener right here. So the Tax Administration of Jamaica really may have a point here, where $20.6 million worth of loans to Positive Media was provided, right? And yet Green Emerald filed a nil tax return for 2021, right? And then tax returns declaring income of $355,100, right? So here's a company that only had $355,000 worth of income, and yet was providing a loan or loans to Positive Media in the $20 million range, So I think the DI, by saying that the TAG and the FID, should really sort this out and look into it a little bit more.
So you said the Green Emerald, who said them income for the year at $355,000?
Yeah.
Is it
So
said
it's
Green
1 nil
Emerald?
return that they filed in 021, but then they actually filed their tax returns in the following year. It seems it's 2022, where it's $355,100.
But Zara, the investigator you are, have you looked or researched about this Green Emerald business?
Well, this is really
and where it comes from, and where is it located?
Well, it was incorporated not too long ago, a couple years ago. I think it was the same 2000. Was it either 20 or 22? I think it's 20. It has as its shareholders an Everton Murray. I'm trying to find other people. I don't know some of these people. I don't know Everton Murray, but his name has come across my desk before. And I get the feeling it's because he's part of another organization that Mr. Holness may be a part of. Because it's the first time, to be honest with you, that I'm hearing about Green Emerald, right? But I believe he might be on a different organization now that Mr. Holness is also part of. But I just can't remember which one. But I'm not fully sure about that. Anyway, so Mr. Murray confirmed when he was contacted by the Integrity Commission that Positive Media offers marketing and promotional services and short-term loan advances to Positive Media. Mr. Murray indicated that the loan was provided based on his long-standing friendship with the principal of Positive Media. Okay, good. No, who is the principal of Positive Media? Imperium, as we know, was the shareholder, the majority shareholder at first, but then it became Andrew Matthew Holness in the second instance. So, is the principal Andrew Matthew Holness, or is that Mr. Holness, meaning Andrew Michael Holness? Anyway, moving on. So, the evidence shows that a total of 22.9 million was deposited to Positive Media's NCB account, bearing account number 52 from Green Emerald Trading Limited. Mr. Murray disclosed that 2.2 million was for marketing and promotion services, and 20.2 million represented the total loans between the period March 2021 and May 2022. Mr. Holness explained that the short-term loans were repaid by Positive Media by way of transfers from Imperium. The DI highlights that the examination of the bank statements related to Positive Media's NCB account 52 at the end reflects transfers to Green Emerald totaling 24.9 million classified as repayment of advance to Green Emerald. This is interesting now. The DI notes that the transactions so classified exceeded the loan amount of 20.6 million. So in other words, the so-called loan was $24 million more, right? And yet, Positive Media sends a transfer to repay this advance, but the repayment of the advance is 24.9 million. So 4.3 million was that difference over payments, but no explanation was offered to the DI as to the difference in the amount. That's according to this report.
In other terms, it's like, let me make it clear. Me send a money to my friend, me flip the money, get her interest on the money, and me pay back my friend the money. That's what it look like to me. No, Zara, I don't know if you know how the gangsterism work. I borrow money from my friend, tell him say I'm gonna get back something when me flip the money. So me flip the money and give him dividends. Lord Jesus. Hey! Glory.
Well, that's speculation. I don't have no proof of that. That's not said in the report.
No, but I saw Jamaican people understand it, Zara.
Well, I can tell you that the share allocation, I was continuing on that point.
Yes.
It was in fact set up, by the way, in November of 2020. The registered office is 62 Henderson Avenue, Kingston 11. It has 100,000 ordinary shares. The share allocation is as follows: 50,000 shares, Everton Murray, the same guy that gave this information. There's Anne-Marie Ashman, 50,000 shares. But
Anne Marie.
interestingly enough, the beneficial owners, there's another beneficial owner. In addition to Anne-Marie Ashman and Everton Murray, there's another beneficial owner, which is Emile Edwards. Don't know who that is.
Emile Edwards.
Yes, right. And it also says the connected parties to Green Emerald. I don't even know what does that mean? Connected parties. You have beneficial owners and then connected parties. I don't fully understand that, but they are Everton Murray, Norman Murray, Tyrrell Bennett, Anne-Marie Ashman, Robert Garvin. Now, I
Hey,
can tell
the
you,
Robert Garvin.
the Robert Garvin stands out to me.
Why the Robert Garvin stands out to you? Wasn't hey?
We know why Robert Garvin stands out to me. One, he sued me after I wrote about him on the Holness episode back in 2016, because in addition to all the different property purchases that had occurred, there was another part of that episode that dealt with how Mr. Holness and him were close associates. And yet this person, Robert Garvin, had a company called Westcon Construction that seemingly was getting quite a number of government contracts without competitive bidding in many of the cases. And, you know, of course, I got sued by Mr. Garvin and Mr. Holness over that episode. And both cases were resolved. And we always maintain the right to rebroadcast that episode. And I will tell you this, I need to do that, but I haven't done it yet. But I intend to try to get that rebroadcast done this year, because I think that's important for the official record of what ended up with that lawsuit, the finalization of that lawsuit. Now, I can tell you that Robert Garvin and Mr. Holness are quite close. From everything I've reported on, they're quite close. And that guy has been under my radar for quite some time, because in addition to those contracts that he got through government entities, for instance, he got stuff from the Ministry of Education, when Prime Minister Holness was the minister. And yes, he got contracts prior to the Mr. Holness becoming the Minister of Education, but it's still worth saying that these contracts were awarded to him, albeit under competitive bidding in most of the cases for the Ministry of Education contracts, to Westcon Construction. But it was while Mr. Holness was the minister. And this was back in 2007, if you recall, when he became the Minister of Education. Now, and the contracts were over several years. I should also point out that he got contracts in the constituency, West Central St. Andrew constituency. Westcon Construction did, but through the NWA, National Works Agency, and SDC as well, Social Development Commission. Now, the Integrity Commission had a previous investigation, if you recall, maybe it was 2022, and it probed that relationship a little bit. And again, in the same way that Mr. Holness was cleared for a false declaration this time around, at the allegations of false declaration, he was cleared this time around. He was also cleared in that instance for what was seen as, by the DI, as influencing government contracts that were issued to either Robert Garvin or his firm, Westcon Construction. So the DI had said that he should be referred for prosecution because he did influence. But then when the Director of Corruption Prosecution within the Integrity Commission, the same Integrity Commission, looked at what his explanation was for the fact that in the two cases, for instance, Mr. Holness, if I'm doing from memory, but it was something to the effect where Mr. Holness was told as an MP that all MPs were supposed to hire somebody that they trusted to be the consultant for their constituency. And he chose Robert Garvin, who then chose to put Westcon Construction as the contractor, or to do the servicing of that contract through the company Westcon Construction. And so it was something that all MPs were supposed to do. Right now, I haven't proved that to see if all MPs really got that instruction, but I'm just telling you what the explanation was at the time, that a direct contract, yes, was given, but there was an explanation behind it as to why it was given so directly. It was because he said, Mr. Holness, that everybody was supposed to do that with their own constituency, right? So that's one. You may have more information on this, by the way, because I think you know what, maybe that relationship is a little bit more than
Zara, why you want to mix me tonight? What kind of, when would I know more about which relationship, Zara?
May I ask?
Zara, I keeping the light on you tonight. I know say not no more. Cause I remember say the two of them did so, you know. I can't take a lawsuit, you know. Let me focus on what going right now. So you say when you look at the shareholders, Robert Garvin came out.
No. Not shareholders. I said connected parties. Now I don't know what connected parties means, but they are Everton Murray, Norman Murray, Tyrrell Bennett, Anne Marie Ashman, and Robert Garvin. And as I said, Robert Garvin and Mr. Holness.
Where you say Green Emerald located?
Henderson Avenue, Kingston 11.
And that is in the Prime Minister's constituency, you know.
Oh yeah. I know I came across that name before, Everton Murray.
And Anne Marie Ashman, I believe, is a financial advisor at Guardian Life. Interesting. The Everton Murray. Is that Zara, are you aware that this is a lot though?
Oh God. It is a mountain.
But in all of this, Zara, aren't you complex as to how the Prime Minister and his wife not intermingled with these companies?
You mean the fact that when you said not intermingled, you mean he is intermingled. You mean that she's not?
She's not on the shareholdership and any of those things. You don't find it strange?
It struck me as strange, to be honest with you. It did strike me as strange. And, you know, I'm also even wondering how the Integrity Commission, because on the form, you know, it's like it's supposed to list the wife's and also the husband's earnings. Like if you look at the declaration form, that's how it comes across to me, like it's supposed to have both. But even in this Integrity Commission report, it's almost like there was a notation that specifically said something like it was just his that they were dealing with, you know, something like that. If I'm not mistaken.
I wonder if the Integrity Commission is doing an independent one on her, another one, separate and different.
That I don't know. That I definitely don't know.
Because I believe as wife and husband, there should have been a joint filing.
Well, at the Integrity Commission, yeah, there should have been, right? So what I can tell you though is that there was an article some years ago when my story came out in 2016, around that time, where the Prime Minister did say that he will his portion in, I don't know if he said in ADMAT, but he will his portion in whatever the assets were to Juliet, his wife. He did say that in an article I read.
But you don't know, ADMAT has been dissolved, so you don't know if he has willed Imperium, Estate Bridge, or Positive Media to her.
We wouldn't know that. We wouldn't know that. We don't know if that's in his will or not. We don't know.
I want to ask you this question though, Zara. Do you think that this Integrity Commission report, do you think that it will have any bearings on the Prime Minister's electability at the next general election? What's your take?
I mean, how can it not have an impact? I just believe that this is an overhang that has not been cleared. You said a while ago that the FID is going to be picking up the case. I think if the FID, let us say, gives them, meaning when I say, gives the companies Mr. Holness, a stamp of approval that all is well, then okay, right? Then it likely will not be an issue. And maybe the FID should just speed up what they need to do, so that we can all say, okay, hooray, he's clean, right? But until such time, to me, the whole clearing of him, the director of corruption prosecution didn't charge him for false declaration because they said that he didn't omit, building a case that he omitted the bank accounts that were tied to his mom and his dad and the former CDF, constituency
worker
person, yeah. It building a case that it was intentional would, and I guess the amounts were not as significant, maybe, I don't know. But building a case that it was an intentional omission would have been a challenge, essentially. So that to me, though, is by the by. I think the bigger issue coming out of this report, and I actually wrote a story about this on the website of 18 Degrees North sometime a little bit after the day after, was that, okay, he's been cleared for these false declaration allegations, or not cleared, but just not charged. But the issue of illicit enrichment, the questions surrounding that remain, and now that the IC is sending this off to the TAG and to the FID to investigate, if they don't, because these guys have a lot more power to really go deeper, a lot deeper than, let us say, maybe the IC can go, So if the FID investigates and they come back with, okay, all the companies are clean, Positive Media is clean, Imperium is good, Estate Bridge is good, and AdMat was good, and everything checks out, then okay, hooray, hooray, we know that we have a winner on our hands, But until such time, there is an overhang.
There is an overhang. Zara, there was a part in the report that spoke about 23 cashless transaction accumulating to 4.5 or 4.6 million, but they were broken up into small pieces. But when I was doing some research, wouldn't that constitute layering in money laundering?
Boy, this part of it, me no get. I don't fully understand this part. I don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. It don't make sense. I try.
I need to talk to somebody with a financial background.
Me no. Well, I don't know if you necessarily have to talk to somebody with a financial background, but to be honest with you, that section I need to reread it, because maybe if I reread it, I will. I did read it, but when you don't process it, I don't think I processed it right. I didn't process that one in the way that I should have processed it as yet. Right? It's a lot. There's a lot to consume. So,
but I found it strange that him see somebody depositing, and them says an anonymous person depositing over like a 3-month period, accumulating to 4. And you're saying that don't raise red card for you as a prime minister to ask Jamaica National who is doing this and stop it?
There's some stuff that was said about Jane Bank. Was it Jane Bank?
It was a short period of time, but I think I need to find. But apart from the monies in the account, Zara, can the Integrity Commission confirm this total amount of assets, tangible assets?
I actually had asked CPA to write up for me all, and I hope that he will still do it, all the things that he still sees as questions to be asked about how certain things went down in terms of the asset declarations, right? Because one of the biggest red flags I can tell you is that, and I brought it up yesterday, I don't see where AdMat got its money to do those transactions with Acadia, the apartment in Acadia in '08 that was purchased, the
Mhm.
land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills that was purchased in '09, and also the land that was used for the Shenstone Drive mansion. That
Mhm.
land was purchased in '11, and then the subsequent construction that occurred amounting to millions and millions of dollars. Where did ADMAT get the money to do all of those investments? And yet we just come up with this report now, and the Integrity Commission said in the report that basically they didn't investigate ADMAT's revenue and verify that the assets presented by ADMAT, like where the assets came from and that kind of thing. They seem to have just accepted that 2018, as of then, that is when they widened their investigation from the 2021 statutory declaration
Mhm.
that was originally part or the basis for the investigation about Mr. Holness's assets. They just widened it out, but from '18 rather than way before '18, which is where I think, because
Mhm.
all of these asset purchases by ADMAT were between '08 and like '06, what was it? Oh, what did I say? Oh,
016.
06.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, well, the construction and stuff. So I think that that needs to be part of the investigation, especially from the FID's perspective, if they're really going to pick up this case. I want to know, and I don't think I am going to be satisfied that a real investigation is being done if it doesn't include that period of time.
Mm.
So to me, that is the benchmark for me. I want to see a full period investigated. Because remember, back in '02, I think the property was bought, I think it was $7 million, something that seems small today. A
Mhm.
townhouse, Great House Boulevard, Mrs. Honus and Mr. Honus bought it with a mortgage, 7 million. How come all of a sudden, fast forward from '02 to '08, the $16 million for the apartment, no mortgage registered,
Just quick that.
15.2 million for the ADMAT Wycliffe Close property up in Beverly Hills,
Mhm.
no mortgage registered in ADMAT's name, 300,000 US, the Shenstone Drive property in '11, and then the construction of the mansion, which was I think like 52 million J, 500 and something thousand equivalent US, I think something there near there. Where that money come from? So before
Mhm.
we can get to just '18, which is what this report is about, '18 on,
Mhm.
my question is, and as I said, as an investigative reporter, how can I be satisfied
Mhm.
that we've really understood the Prime Minister's finances if we don't go back to before ADMAT was created, which was in '08?
So your simple argument is you want to know where did the funds come from to do the first set of purchases under ADMAT?
Exactly. I think that is, to me, the most critical piece of information. But as I said, it's not that this report don't give us information. I mean, as I said, I was like, whoa, this is good stuff. I mean, you know what I'm saying? As a
It
practitioner.
can be good stuff for the Jamaican people, but good stuff for the journalists and the bloggers too. To dissect. Mhm.
Good stuff is relative. Sorry for being a journalist here, right? But that's what we do. We look for stuff. Anyway, so it was, interesting information that we were able to glean, especially me, because of how long I've been on this case
Mhm.
from this report.
Do you do you
Mhm.
find yourself vindicated to have gone? Because people were saying it's bad mind, you bad mind the prime minister to have been going deep into his personal financial business. What is your response to the critiques tonight that is bad mind or if it's just naturally fast you fast or because him not come from uptown like a Zara Burton? Is a ghetto youth to try and make a living and you come and dig into it. What is your response to them?
Do I feel vindicated? I don't know if vindication to me, I mean, this doesn't vindicate. I don't feel vindicated. I feel more
Mm,
interested. And I
mm,
think the people that have the detractors and the persons that are, talking and said all of these things and whatever the case is, they must go work out their own salvation and realize that what I meant and what I reported on was in the true spirit of journalism. And as I said, when I see all of this stuff with the Integrity Commission report, I'm still processing some of this stuff. But as a practitioner, it emboldens you. It makes you feel as if, okay, you can go down that rabbit hole. But I don't get cocky, you know. That's one thing about me. I always stay humble. Because let me tell you something. When you think that you're going down a road and can prove something and all the various bits of it, right? And then when you realize, oh, maybe it seemed that way, but now I understand the explanation for why certain things were certain ways, right? So maybe the Integrity Commission, you know, has gotten some extremely good leads here. The FID, I hope, will get to the full bottom of everything. And as I said, not just from 018 go up, but before ADMAT was created in 07. Well, 08 was, but I want to say from 07 because we'd like to see what the earnings were in 07, come up to 08 when ADMAT was created and go from there, right? So I don't feel vindicated is not the word. It's just focused, you know, focused on finding out more. That's where I am as a practitioner. Vindicated may have happened like maybe when the Integrity Commission came out with the report on West Ham construction, and you know, like I said, okay, good. They picked up the case. They did something. You feel good as a journalist that your work is not in vain, you know. And a lot of times, you know, people will say to me as a journalist, you know, like I'll put out an article, and sometimes the article don't make a cent, right? Don't make a 1 cent, and then something like this happens where things blow up and information that I had put out is now being referenced, and people say, "Boy, you did know," or whatever the case is. And you know, like I'll have people say, "Why you write about these things?" And you know, like nobody seems to care. And it's like sometimes I just tell people I write about these things because I think that they're important things, and they may sound. I remember when I was writing about all the different directors of Positive Jamaica Foundation, and people were saying, why are you speaking and why are you highlighting the people that were part of Positive Jamaica Foundation? You know, you're acting like they did anything wrong. I said, no, they didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but I think it's important to highlight the people that were around Mr. Holness at the time when Positive Jamaica Foundation was set up, like Mark Azan, who is now in the news for Positive Media Solutions because he became part of that company in 020, even though he was also part of Positive Jamaica and another foundation, West Central St. Andrew Trust, I think he was. And then Nigel Clark as well, Positive Jamaica Foundation. He was one of those alumni as well, a director. And then him go have him own setup of his foundation. It's important to like put on the impact that this has happened, even though people might be saying, why you take on this and why you take on that? You know, I make no money on this. One time somebody said, a peer cricketer listen to me, and you know, you know, the duppy them know the person that a peer duppy listen to me, you know, all the various bits of it. But I think when you're an investigative journalist and you love what you do, even though you're hearing the things and whatever the case is, a lot of the times I just say, all right, well, I found this information, so I'm just gonna write about it. I'm gonna write about it anyway, you know what I mean? Because I know that at some point it's gonna fit into a different, into some kind of cookie bash into the maze some way, you know, and that's exactly what has happened here. So, I would say to you, I'm a little bit original in this regard, where I just pray. I'm just say, Lord, just guide my reporting, make sure me check this, make sure me check that, and you know what I mean? Like that is that is how me do right
being in Jamaica.
Pardon?
Do you feel safe being in Jamaica when you're reporting?
You know, somebody asked me that yesterday, and there were times, and there have been times where I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I'm in danger all the time. But there have been occasions where I feel like a little bit threatened. In fact, more than a little bit threatened. There have been occasions. There have been times when I feel like the vitriol on social media against me was intense. I had to come off a little bit, you know, so that you keep your sanity. And but the truth is that I feel like the more I reported over the years, I think that even though you still have your detractors, you still have the people who will cuss you and tell you about your front and all the various bits of it. No, it's true. I'm happy to tell you that, right? All the various bits of it. It's like, I think when you just kind of stay focused and do your work, it becomes more about the work and less about the people that bashing you. Because when them bash me now, it's almost like, well, okay, at least it's creating some conversation. You know what I mean? That's how sometimes I imagine it now, which is before I was like rattled and, we're going to get this and I'm going to get sued and I'm going to get, bashed up and lashed at and, but sometimes I feel as if the detractors, when they start stirring the pot, it creates a more, parts of a conversation and it helps the reporting. So I think it's part of the territory. I pray, yes, I'm a Christian. I pray, like some people have to, right, to get through their careers as well.
I want to ask you this as we wrap up tonight.
Mm.
The very fact that the Prime Minister said he searched far and wide, and he said he's not under investigation for illicit enrichment. And then the report from the Integrity Commission has made it clear that up to August 18th last year or 17th, he was fully made aware that he's under investigation. Don't you think that the Prime Minister should recall himself from his duties? Blatantly lying to the nation?
Well, according to the attorney that he has,
Henley?
Yeah, they put out something to say he didn't lie. So I don't know that we should say definitively that he lied if it is that, his attorney is saying, this is what he was notified about. If we as journalists or bloggers or whatever can pick up evidence that, yes, he got this particular document and, we can prove he lied, that is our responsibility to now go prove that and to disprove what she has to say. What do you say about that?
That's true, but if we're looking at the timetable given by the IC, they gave him the details to say section 15 whatsoever. So, and if section 15C, like it was a 14C or 15C, when you say that, it is illicit entry. The word, like if I say section 15C or 14C, it is a clear suggestion that you're under investigation for illicit enrichment. So I don't know, but it's something that we need to look at further. And I know you're not going to be a stranger because there's so much to look into. We're going to have a time that we zoom into Mark Golding and what he's doing, seeing whether or not he's suitable to become the Prime Minister of Jamaica. I know you have many questions that you want to throw out there. So we're going to have a discussion on that very soon. But thank you, Zara, for, despite not having the connection, the connectivity, still making the effort to be here tonight. We appreciate you. Please to keep safe. And we don't want you to be a stranger to Partner Draw TV.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And as you speak about Mark Golding, and some of the stuff that I've written in the past about him, and I continue to look into his assets as well. So if it is that people want to be a part of the newsletter, they can always go to the website. As I said, it's www.18degreesnorth.tv, and you can sign up there for the newsletter and see if the stories there interest you and open your eyes to new information. That's all I try to do, is to produce new information.
All right, my darling, Zara.
Jamaica, guys.
Thank you again, Zara. Thank you, guys. Remember to subscribe to Zara Burton's www.18degree North TV. Please to subscribe. And that is where we have it for tonight, Jamaica. We've been on this program for almost 2.5 hours. And thanks to everyone that stayed, and I'm sure we learned more tonight. Did you learn something more tonight? I'm sure we all learned something more tonight. And I appreciate that we're having these high-level discussions. As I said, I'm working assiduously, Jamaica, to get a financial analyst to join the program tomorrow so we can look at the Prime Minister's statutory declaration from a financial perspective. We want to explore if there were any inferences of money laundering being done by the Prime Minister. So tomorrow we want to get into the books, get into the details. We're going to look into the bank accounts a lot tomorrow night. Hopefully, if we get the financial advisor over here, a financial analyst. So we don't know who is coming, but we know somebody is coming. So I'm just asking all of you to remember to share this video with at least 10 persons. Backside, me get a lion. Backside, student, me get a lion. Who send the lion?
What a bangarang! Hey!
Oh! I send the lion. You see when we talk about new name for loyalty. Isaac Buchanan. Send the lion. I never get a lion yet. Students, bless up the super chat now. Isaac Buchanan. If someone forgot to change my sheet, what a bangara. Hey! Good night, Jamaica. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for being here tonight. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Until tomorrow at 1 p.m. God bless you and stay blessed. Stay blessed. What is a lion? Come on TikTok. Me go talk to me TikTokers them little before me go on my bed. All right? Bye-bye. 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 Goodbye now.
Your appetite for fun never ends at Andre's Food Fiesta on September 27th, 2024. This amazing food will tantalize your taste and feed your appetite for adventure with our wild flavors. Your pulse-pounding appetite will be satisfied in concerts for every taste. It all pairs well with a complimentary natural juice. The best way to come back for more, the taste, the flavor, the mouth-watering dishes. Pre-order only. Andre's Food Fiesta. Whet your appetite and let you keep running back for more. To order, WhatsApp or call us at 876-865-4587 or 876-995-5301 or 876-426-2281. Thank you for your support.